Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the Coach Teddy Keaton Show. I am Sylvester Williams. They call me Sly the Sports Guy, and I am joined by the one and only Coach Teddy Keaton. How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing well, man. How are you?
Coach, I'm sad, Coach. I'm sad, Coach. It is a tough one, Coach. First loss of the year, Coach. Ain't no need to beat around the bush. Might as well jump on into it, Coach. First loss of the year. Suffered a tough one to the Savannah State Tigers. The Savannah State Tigers came to the red carpet and took us out, Coach. Took us out 35-28, 35-28. Coach, I guess we need to break down the game, Coach.
Well, let's do it.
Here we go. We'll start it off. Clark Atlanta will win the toss, having good luck winning the toss all year long. Deferring to the second half. Defense comes out. They come out strong. Holds to a 3-and-out. Forces a punt. Next thing you know, CAU has it, and they have their first 3-and-out. A reoccurring theme, and on this time, it ends with a third down, a 10-yard sack. First sack, you guys gave up a sack on the first drive. This has not happened. Your offensive line doesn't give up too many sacks, Coach. I mean, what happened on that? Your offensive line usually pretty tough.
See, there's a combination when those sacks come into play. There's a combination of the receiver, there's a combination of the quarterback, and there's a combination of the O-line. And I think at that time on that first sack, it was a little bit on the quarterback. He held the ball a little bit too long, trying to find a receiver, and it kind of played out in his bad favor for him.
Savannah State will have it, and this time the Clark Atlanta defense holds for 3 downs, but Savannah State goes for it on 4th and 5, and they complete a 30-yard touchdown pass. Sullivan to Colbert, touchdown Savannah State. Now Clark Atlanta will have it, but they'll get behind the 8 ball with a 12-yard sack on first down and have another 3-and-out. But the Clark Atlanta defense steps up, forces a 3-and-out. So what do the Panthers do? They trade another 3-and-out right back at them. 3-and-out for the Panthers. Now, Savannah State has it. They'll give it back to them for another 3-and-out. I'm talking about back and forth, 3-and-out, 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 and that'll end the first quarter. Savannah State up 7-0. Savannah State up 7-0. Now we'll go into the second, and Clark will start off with, guess what? A 3-and-out, Coach. A 3-and-out. This is the 4th 3-and-out in 4 possessions. Now, Savannah State will have it, and they'll get it around midfield. Now, right around midfield, they'll throw a pass, and guess what? James Somerset, Johnny on the spot, interception, 51 yards to pay dirt, touchdown, James Somerset. Tell me a little bit about James Somerset. This is the first time we mentioned his name all year, Coach.
James Somerset was a part of the Clark Atlanta old regime, and we saved him, and we let him stay on the team. And he started off in high school. He played running back and wide receiver. Then he switched over to DB when he got to us at Clark. And I think he's done a tremendous job of growing into that position at free safety, learning what to do, how to do it, and why it's important for him to do it that way. We see these plays at practice on a numerous basis, so it wasn't surprising that he's trying to, kind of catch up in the game with it.
Hey, Coach, was he trying to be the reason, Coach?
That's always everybody on the team trying to be the reason.
Be the reason. You can get these shirts. Be the reason shirts. Everybody go and check it out. Go to Coach Keaton's IG page. Go to Coach Keaton's IG page. That's Keaton.Teddy at IG. Get the link so you can get you your Be the Reason shirt. Be the Reason team motto for Clark Atlanta. Well, somebody wasn't the reason, because the very next play, Savannah State will get it, and they will bust a 72-yard run by Hampton. 72 yards to the end zone, Coach. I think the only thing that would have stopped them was the fence behind the end zone, Coach. The only thing.
I think we kind of lined up wrong. They caught us in a formation that they wasn't ready for. and we didn't line up all the way and make the proper adjustments to it, which caused the hole. They called the right play. I thought overall that they both offense. My hat goes off to offensive coordinator Nick Triss over at Savannah State. He did a tremendous job to find a way to put his team in position, and they held the ball a lot. They grinded. Usually we win the time of possession. We only won it by a minute this time, so they had it for like 25 minutes. Mm-hmm. We had it for like 26 minutes. So he did a good job of trying to hold the ball and keeping that offense off the field.
All right. Well, score 14-7. Clark Atlanta will have it. This time they finally get a first down, Coach. Finally get a first down. It was a 13-yard pass to Jamal Jones, but they can't capitalize. 3 downs later, they'll have to punt it away. Now, Savannah State, they'll have it, but the Panther defense forces another punt. But this time they kick a 70-yard punt, Coach. 70-yard punt down inside the 4-yard line. Man, Coach, we have been running into some punters this year who are kicking the ball, Coach.
Man, I think we've seen some of the best punters every league got to offer right now. We started off some drives at the 1, the 2. We've been able to get ourselves out of those situations for the most part. But, Saturday was a real difficult day for us trying to get out of those backed up spots.
I tell you, it was tough. It was tough. So Clark Atlanta will have it 1st and 10 on their 4-yard line. And the offense does what? Another 3 and out, Coach. Another 3 and out, Coach. Now, Savannah State, they did not waste any time. They'll get it 1st and 10 on the Clark Atlanta 32-yard line. 32-yard line. They don't waste any time. It's a 2-play drive. And on the second play, Sullivan hits Wallace for a 32-yard touchdown pass. Score 21-7. 21-7, the bad guys on top. Now, Clark Atlanta finally gets it on track. David Wright, he'll go 6 for 8 on this drive. A 15-yard pass to Ronnie West. It'll get it to the 1-yard line. Now, you took your time getting it in, Coach. 3 plays, tried to run it in 3 times. David Wright tried to sneak it in the first 2, couldn't get it. Tried to hand it off one more time, couldn't get it. And then on 4th and 1, David Wright hit Trayvon Penner in the end zone, touchdown. Score 21-14, and we'll go into the half, score 21-14. Now I got to ask the million-dollar question, Coach. Everybody wants to know what is wrong with the offense. 4 3-and-outs in the first half, and then the one you didn't go 3 and out, you went 4 plays and punted, Coach. What's going on with the offense?
I don't think it's nothing going on with the offense. I think it's just a matter of, everybody now in our league, we change every game. So now you got to be prepared. You got to have adjustments off what you're doing. I think that we just had it was midterm week. I think a lot of people were distracted. We've been on the road a lot. And I think that it just was an off week. I said it early in the week that they were kind of dragging a little bit. Things wasn't going and we wasn't executing at the level we needed to execute at. There's no excuse for it. I mean, we just had an off Saturday. Probably one of the worst off Saturdays we've had in probably my 11 years of coaching, that we've had an offense that we had a production of that low.
Now we're at the half. We're going to take a little bit of time out. We're going to go to our team reporter, Genesis Smith. Genesis, she's going to sit down and talk to our staff member of the week, Frank Sutton Jr. Frank Sutton Jr., our staff member of the week. Take it away, Genesis.
And we are here with staff member of the week, Coach Frank Sutton. Coach, how does it feel being the offensive line coach of Clark Atlanta, which y'all being 4-0-1 right now?
It feels amazing right now. Right now we're in the driver's seat. We know that we have the opportunity to do something special, and I think those guys have bought into what we're bringing here, which is a championship culture.
And what does the opportunity of being staff member of the week mean to you?
It means a lot to me. It just shows the hard work that I put in on and off the field, making sure that the guys are up to speed on everything, and I just think it shows the change that's going on around here.
Coach, is there anything else you'd like to add?
Go Panthers!
Welcome back. Thank you, Genesis, for our staff member of the week, the one and only Frank Sutton Jr. Thank you, Genesis Smith, for sitting down and talking to Frank. Now, we're going to bring a special guest. We'll bring a special guest to join us in the second half. As we break down the second half, we have a young freshman out of South Atlanta down there at Hateville Charter Academy, the one and only Eric Searcy II. How you doing, Eric?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
Man, we are glad to have you here, youngster, on this show. Young freshman. Now he's a linebacker at Clark Atlanta University. Young man, welcome to college. Now you're a college player. What's the difference between your days at Hateville and now your days here at Clark Atlanta?
Okay, so the jump from high school to college, I mean, the game a little faster, the play is a little more complex, but, like, I just stayed down, worked hard, stayed in my playbook, and, yeah, I was good from then.
And now it's an interesting change you had to make coming from Hateville. You're a guy, played running back, played linebacker, did a little bit of it all for Hateville. Sometimes you drove the bus on the away games, did a little bit of everything. But when you got to Clark, you wasn't starting when you first walked in the door. It took you a while to kind of find your way in. And I think the Bethune game is when you first got that first good deal of playing time. So how did you feel those early days when you wasn't playing, when it was new, and then compared to that Bethune game when they called you in and they called your number? Were you ready?
Yeah, I was ready. I mean, I knew I was going to get my opportunity, so when my time came, I just showed up.
Just showed up. Now, Coach, I want to ask you now, you got this youngster, a lot of times in today's game with all the transfer portals and everything going on, sometimes some of these high school seniors, they get overlooked, and then when they become freshmen, they're kind of on the end of the bench. Now, what allowed you to have faith in this young man that when you put him in, he would be ready?
Oh, you just watch practice. You know, I told, and he can attest to this, I tell them every week, in order for you to win and get through a season and possibly play for a championship, everybody that we signed on that roster at some point in time got to make some type of impact. So what the time you spend when we're not, taking reps, whether you physically taking them, you need to be taking mental reps, you need to be in your book. So when your number is called, you don't drop the ball when it's thrown your way. And when we called Searcy's number, we felt like he had been on special teams. He had did a lot of things to contribute to, showing us that he was ready to play in that moment. We didn't anticipate it for it to be the Bethune-Cookman moment, but it was an opportunity for him to get in. He didn't let us down. I think he had over 16 or 17 tackles in that game. So he really had showed us all week during practice that over the course of the camp and all, he had done a really good job of knowing how to find the ball and do what he do.
All right. Eric Searcy II, our player of the week. Now, we go on to second half. Clark Atlanta will start at the 31. They drive down the field and score. Whatever that halftime speech was, it worked. David Wright hit Amari Harris for a TD. Touchdown pass. Now we have a tie game. Scored 21-21. Amari Harris with the catch in the corner of the end zone for the touchdown. Now, Savannah State, they'll get the ball and they will take their time on this drive, Coach. They'll have possession and hold possession for just under 8 minutes. But this time, the 36-yard field goal attempt is no good. The defense holds. Now, Eric, we're going to put you on the spot. Now, you're on the field trying to hold that defense, and they're driving for eight minutes almost. What are you telling your teammates? What's the word going on trying to get them to hold so you all can stay in this game?
Stay focused. Everybody got to do their job.
Stay focused and everybody does their job. All right, Clark Atlanta will have it, and this time they'll get another 3 and out. Oh, my goodness, Coach, we done started this again. With these 3 and outs. You can't advance the ball beyond the 20-yard line, and this time you'll punt it away, and you put the defense in another bad situation, Coach. Now Savannah State, they'll have it 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. It only takes 4 plays. Savannah State scores a 30-yard touchdown pass. Burks to Carr. Brent Carr gets in the scoreboard. 28-21. Savannah State on top. Now, start of the 4th quarter. Clark has another 3 and out, Coach. One more time, another 3 and out. And this time, to make matters even worse, Clark Atlanta had a penalty on the punt, kick-catch interference. That'll give that'll give Savannah State 1st and 10, ball on the CAU 47-yard line. It'll take Savannah State it'll take them 4 plays to go ahead and punch it in, thanks to a pass interference that put the ball on the 2-yard line. And then Colbert, he'll push it in for a 2-yard touchdown run. Score 35-21, 35-21. Now, fourth quarter, Clark Atlanta down by 2 touchdowns. Some people tell me Clark doesn't even really get started till they're down by 14, Coach. So now we got to figure out. Clark Atlanta, they answer. The Panthers run off a 9-play, 65-yard TD drive, and this one was capped off with a 24-yard touchdown pass to Virgil Young. David Wright, Virgil Young, and look at Virgil go up, full extension, catches it at his highest point, pulls it on in for the touchdown. Great camera work by our man Miles over there holding down the camera. Touchdown, Virgil Young, score 35-28. Now, Eric, I'm going to put it back to you, Eric. The Panthers need their defense to step up, need to get the offense the ball back. What did Coach Cole and all that defensive staff, what were they telling you guys on this drive before y'all went out on the field for this next drive?
We knew it was on us. We had to get 3 and out, get a stop, so we can get the offense the ball back.
Well, there you go. 3 and out. The defense holds 3 and out. They'll punt it, but, Coach, they punted it to the 4-yard line, Coach. The 4-yard line. That means you have to go 96 yards. Been here before. You can do it. You knew it. You know it can be done. So what are you saying to the offense as they got to go 96 yards to tie the game up?
The same way we tell them about eating the elephant, one bite at a time. Go one play at a time.
All right, they'll start it off one play at a time, one play at a time. They'll have it 1st and 10 at the 4-yard line, 7 minutes, 21 seconds to go. Clark, they'll start off shotgun pass. Well, they'll start off in the shotgun. Trevon Pender, he'll pick up 3 yards. David Wright, he'll have a complete pass to David Martin for 20 yards. 1st and 10 on the 27. Martin, he'll rush for 2 yards to the 29. No huddle. They're trying to keep things moving. David Wright will complete a short pass to Amari Harris for a 5-yard gain. 3rd and 3, David Wright, he'll complete another short pass to David Martin for 5 yards. 1st down, Clark Atlanta. Now we're out the shotgun. David Wright, he'll throw an incomplete pass to Martin. 2nd and 10, David Wright, he'll complete a short pass to David Martin for 10 yards, and he'll go out of bounds. It'll be a 1st down, Clark Atlanta. 1st and 10, David Wright throws an incomplete pass. 2nd and 10, David Wright feeling the pressure, steps up in the pocket. He's sacked, and the ball pops loose. The ball pops loose. They poked it free, fumble, knocked it free. Coach, that one hurt. That one hurt, Coach. What happens? It was a great individual effort by 51 trying to get off of that corner, trying to get to him. What happened on that one, Coach?
He dropped the ball. We talked about it all week about handling the ball when he stayed tucked up in the pocket, that he got to grab it with both hands and not kind of lollygag around with it. And they told him one day, we work ball security every day. It's not a drill that we don't, go past. Just like the drill, when we start the ball at the 96, at the 4-yard line, go 96 yards. We do this every day. This is not something that we don't do. We work these situations. So we tell them that if you work these situations, it's just like the game. And just so happened this time he got caught and they hit his hand and the ball pops out. Can't be mad at him for him. He was trying to make a play. It is what it is.
It is what it is. It happens to the best of us. It happens to the best of us. Now, Clark Atlanta will have it. It'll be 3 minutes, 21 seconds to left. Still a chance. Defense cannot hold on this one. Defense cannot hold. They hold Savannah State to 3rd and 7, but then on 3rd and 7, Christian Burks completes a 10-yard pass to Braylon Fowler, and then they'll try to hold one more time. They can hold on 3rd down. Shamarcus Poole will rush 4 yards to pick up the 1st down, and then it shows up as either the best formation in football or it's the worst formation in football. It just all depends on whose sideline you're standing on. The victory formation, Savannah State will take a knee, and that'll do it, Coach. End of the ball game.
No doubt.
First loss of the year. Clark Atlanta Panthers suffer a tough one. They suffer a tough one, but it happens, Coach. It happens. So now when you take your guys back to the locker room, what do you tell them, Coach?
We talk about being a team, about, not being an individual. Individuals win games, team wins championship. How they respond, it goes all the way back to the teaching that we've been teaching them for a while. How to overcome adversity. What's going to happen when failure, adversity hit this team. It has struck. Now we can only wait to see how they respond. We had practice earlier today, and they did a really good job. I think they all responded. They came back with the mindset that I know they don't like the way that tastes in their mouth, but I didn't think it was more of what Savannah State did to us rather than what Clark Atlanta didn't do for themselves. I thought that we didn't do a good job executing on offense, and I think that sometime on defense we didn't execute well there. So when you got 3 phases of the game that you didn't do well in on that week, then there's a chance that you're going to lose. And luckily, the game was only 35-28. It's some moments in there that they could have took advantage of us big time. And the fact we couldn't get them back off the field on that 3rd down, it let me know. I was trying to wonder if we had quit or we gave up or we laid down or we just thought we couldn't win the ball game no more. And I don't ever want a team of mine that I've ever coached that I want them to lay down at any point in time, regardless of how bad the score is.
That's one thing, though, Coach, I can see about your Clark Atlanta Panthers. They don't quit. They don't give up, Coach. It's just this time the ball didn't bounce their way. Taking a look at some of the individual stats, wasn't an actually stellar game from anybody. David Wright, he was 28 for 43, 201 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, got sacked 3 times, and 1 fumble. The rushing on the other side, Trevon Pender, he had 7 attempts, 34 yards. Allen Riggins, 6 attempts, 14 yards. Martin had 1 attempt for 2 yards. And you're receiving, Jamal Jones, leading receiver, 5 receptions, 59 yards. David Martin, 5 receptions, 54. Virgil Young, 2 receptions, 40 yards and a touchdown. Ronnie West, 3 receptions, 34 yards. Trevon Pender, 3 receptions, 13 yards. And Amani Harris, don't have Amani stats, but we'll get that one later on. But Amani did have a touchdown reception. Well, Coach, that game's over. Can't think about it. It's done. Now we got to move on to next week. Next week, Central State play the Marauders. Got to go all the way up to the home of LeBron James up there in Cleveland.
We're excited about the trip. It's an opportunity for us again. The good thing about football is the only sport you practice more than you play. So how we go into practice this week, how we approach it, we're traveling again. We're on the road. It's their homecoming. It's a good time to respond. It's a good time for us to bounce back and play. We tell the kids every day, play the next play. It's the same thing we expect from us as coaches. I said to the coaching staff in the meeting this morning, we got out played, we got out coached, we got out everything. So we got to figure out a way to gather our troops up, figure out how we're going to, manage this game and figure out a way to beat a tough, stingy Central State. They're not going to be an easy win. They got a quarterback that can throw the ball and run around as well. They got a defense that's pretty good, probably going to be one of the best, most organized defenses that we've seen this season. But they got some playmakers that can make plays here and there. We're going to come because we're the hunted now. Everybody's got a target on us because we're still in the top 3 of the conference right now. Mm-hmm. And you got some interesting games coming up that's making more games more interesting for the conference in itself. And we tell them every week, you're going to have to play your best game because everybody's going to give you their best game. Because if they could even it up and give us 2 losses, and now everybody kind of counts everybody out, the platform is even again. Mm-hmm. Right now, we're sitting up there with the 3 top teams, and we very well could be there, but it's all going to be predetermined about how we respond, which is the next game up, which is Central State.
Mm. Now, Cersei, you'll get to go up there. Like you said, it's homecoming for Central State. Now, do you guys kind of look into the fact that someone chose you as the homecoming opponent? I know freshman year is kind of different. This will be your first homecoming you'll get to see at another school. Does it rub you the wrong way that they picked you to be the homecoming opponent?
I mean, I feel like it's a little disrespectful, but hey, we're going to see how it play out.
Rule number one, you don't want to be the homecoming queen. You don't want to be the homecoming queen for somebody else unless you're a student at Central State. Then you can be the homecoming queen. But here we have it. Next week, Central State will be on the road to Central State. So all of the Clark alumni, all the Clark Atlanta alumni that's in the Ohio, Kentucky, Michigan area, Western Pennsylvania, come on over to Clark. Come on over to Central State. Be sure to support your Panthers. And while you're going to the game, make sure you go to Coach Keaton's IG page. Go to Keaton.Teddy, his IG page, so you can get the Be the Reason shirt. Be the reason. Go ahead and go to Coach Keaton's IG page. Well, it's been another great week here at Clark Atlanta football. Hopefully we can turn this thing around next week. He is Coach Teddy Keaton, joined by Eric Cersei II. All our images and everything's brought to you by our guy, D. Clark at Hood Genius Entertainment. We'd like to thank our super producer, super cameraman, super everything, Mr. Miles Jenkins. I am Sylvester Williams. They call me Sly the Sports Guy. This is the Coach Teddy Keaton Show. We'll see you next week here on HBCU Game Day.